Hey up, morning. I hope everyone is doing well and the sun is shining wherever you are. It's quite sunny here in Middlesbrough today, which is canny. Sat outside piano, as always, on a Saturday morning, waiting for Amy. So I thought it would be quite nice to have a little catch-up. And what I wanted to chat about today, and this will probably be part one of quite a few, to be honest, are the routines and rituals that go alongside or are a massive part of anorexia, and then a massive part of recovery when you start to notice them and break them. For me, those behaviours and those rituals have been such a thing in terms of my actual disorder and the way in which it manifested itself, and breaking them and challenging them have been just as important, if actually not more important, than the food itself. The first one I want to talk about is weighing stuff and measuring stuff. So like most folks and most of us with this horrendous illness, we get to a stage where we track and monitor and record and measure the life out of everything that goes on our plate or just on in life in general. It usually starts off because we have a Fitbit. I don't have a Fitbit or an Apple Watch. I used to have, but I don't anymore. Or you have all those horrendous trackers on your phone. I used to have lists on my phone in my notes, lists of the common things that I ate, and it was a very extensive list, and what their caloric value was, and then I would just track literally everything that I was doing every day. So how do we start to think about breaking that idea of tracking? Well, unfortunately, that's really tough, that one, because we become experts by experience. We become experts because we do it so much, so our brain learns how to do this thing, and you start to remember things. So it's not just about stopping recording and writing things down, because obviously when you stop writing things down, that's got to be stage one. Stage one has to be stop recording things. Banish your Fitbit, banish any apps that you've got, delete your lists that you're keeping on your phone, and force yourself to stop recording things. I know that is easier said than done. So again, for some of us, it might be all in, and it might be that you wake up tomorrow and you say, right, today's the day, I'm going to stop writing things down and recording my measurements, and you just stop and you go through the pain and you battle with the struggle every time you go to eat of not recording, not writing it down. Or other people, some of us might need that phased and gradual exposure, so you might choose that you're going to start with breakfast, it might choose that you're going to start with snacks, and you're not going to write those down. However it is that you choose to do it is down to you and what you know works best, but ultimately you just have to stop recording everything and writing it down. The problem then, though, is it's lodged up here. So I can look at a plate of food, I can stand in a queue at a cafe, and I can tell you the general caloric value of everything in front of me. I can scan a plate and I can have worked out what it is. So therefore, it's firstly trying not to do that. And then it's trying to find ways of forcing yourself so you can't really do that. And what I'm talking about there is getting support. So getting support in meal prep, getting support in meal plating, and potentially eating out. Because in those three scenarios, you're not in control of what's going on that plate. So yeah, you can scan it and you can kind of have an idea of the component parts because it's there, but you don't know what's going on underneath it. So you don't know what the cooking process has been. You don't know specifically what's in those sauces. You don't know exactly how these things have been put together. So that forces your head to not be able to be recording and not be able to count and see what's on there. And if you kind of go through that process for a little bit of time, you then start to not calculate them as much. I'm not saying that you stop calculating them, because I'm not convinced that is ever going to happen for me, but you stop doing it as much because you don't know what all the component parts of that thing is, and then that has a knock-on effect to other things. So because you've had support preparing and plating up and or eating out, then gradually as you're doing it, your brain does start to say, hang on, Sarah, you ate out yesterday, you had spaghetti bolognese yesterday, you had no clue what sort of oil they used or how much oil they used, so you're cooking chili today, so just whack the oil in. And then your eating disorder goes, no, don't be stupid, you can't do that, measure it to the 10th degree or don't use it at all. But your logical brain goes, no, you can, you've practiced, you've done this, so you've just got to tap into that logical brain again, as always, and just sort of remember that you did manage to do the meal yesterday without knowing what it was. So today, when you're preparing it or when you've got other people around you helping you, you can do it again. So that's a really important one. About it's not just about not writing things down, it's about finding a path to rewire the fact that we can calculate that already anyway. So get some support in meal prep, get some support in plating up and or eat out. Now, eating out, social eating, for me, has been a massive thing. So there's a whole set of routines and rituals that I went through and I've been through in order to get myself to be able to eat out, that I will make another video on, because that'll make this too long. Okie dokie, so there's just a quickie for today. I hope it helps somebody. Have a lovely time, everybody. Take care, bye.